Let's get to work.
Hey, Roman, you freaking out?
No.
Yes, you are.
Somebody just walk me through what we supposed to be doing.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Game time. Roman, you praying, aren't you? $50 says he's praying right now. You need some fresh air? Because you're about to get a whole lot of it.
Okay, here we go.
Woo! Now we're moving. Just tell him that this is not for you. This is not your mission.
Hey, Rom! Hey, what's up, man? Talk to me. Come on.
I can't do it.
The hell you can't! Come on, man. You throw that thing in reverse and get your ass out of here now.
Hey, man, listen. I'm sorry to let y'all down, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and stay up here.
No, brother. I'm sorry to let you down.
What?
What do you mean you said?
Dad! What are you doing? I hate you, Dad!
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you are. Welcome to a new DC live stream. I'm your host, Matthew Batiri, here with my co-host, Wasim Debussy. How are you, my friend?
I'm outstanding, Matthew, and what a start to the week. How's your week been so far?
Yeah, it's been a tough week. We had some awesome fun on the weekend at the Oz Crypto Convention here on the Gold Coast. So it was great meeting some of our clients face to face. It was great listening to a lot of awesome presenters, a lot of new, businesses coming to the market, already a lot of established ones that would like more seed investment. We saw some amazing stuff. And actually, you know what? I will let the people know who I most enjoyed at the end of the stream. I'll go through two tokens. I'm not saying they should invest in them, but two tokens that I saw have great potential, and it's definitely up my alley because I like this type of stuff. So I'm going to talk about that in the market update. I'll probably actually have a quick look at the charts of those two coins that we're talking about. And it's just good to see you, Michael, Irene, Z in person. It was it was good fun.
Yeah, no, it was a great weekend. You know what? That convention really opened up my eyes because I honestly, going to that convention, being the first ever Australian crypto convention, and also, you know, we're in a bear market. I actually didn't think there was going to be a huge turnout. There was 3,500 people there. And a lot of the conferences and things, the talks that we're trying to go to, they were all filled. The people waiting outside trying to listen in. So for me, it was such a just a big reminder of why we are in this space and how far this space is going to go, and the potential that it's got. If a convention of that size gets that full in a bear market, and during such great economic turmoil, you know, I think we're in for a very, very bright future in the blockchain industry.
Yeah, well, it's good that it opened your eyes. Maybe you don't need to wear glasses anymore. It's
Thank you.
Zing. All right, guys, we are going to get started. We got lots to cover today, news and so forth. But before we do, please watch this short video. Alrighty, over to you, Wasim, with the news highlights.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so first up, we have some very, very scary news coming out this week, and this week is going to be like scary. There's a lot of scary stuff happening this week in the financial world for Bitcoin and other financial things and other financial tools, I should say. And the first one being that the Fed may raise hikes up to 1% due to the CPI coming out high last week. So as you guys know, last week or the week before, the CPI came out and it was hotter than they expected. So the market has already priced in 0.75% interest rate hike. But now if the Fed go for 100 point increase, that will be the highest rate since they've done it since back in the 1980s, and that is scaring a lot of people out there. The other thing that's happening out there right now is with this is that Bitcoin has already lost over $2,000 in the past week, as well as so has most other things in the stock market. I think I mentioned last week, it was something like $1.5 trillion or 1.4 trillion dollars overnight was lost in the stock market last week, and also the dollar is now starting to peak back. So as the dollar gets stronger, then what happens is Bitcoin gets weaker. So we are looking at some downturns for Bitcoin and also the Ethereum sell-off. So after the Ethereum merger last week, Ethereum has lost lost 25% of its value in a week. So all these things are happening out there at the moment, which means that we are looking at some rough times ahead. But the good news is the data is still coming out that those long-term hodlers, so addresses that have Bitcoin in them that have not moved them in a long time, are getting bigger and bigger. So there's more and more people hodling Bitcoin than people selling it. So this is what we want to see. And even though this is short term, it is going to be a bit of pain, but we also believe long term we are definitely in the right place to be. All right, moving over to the next one, which is explaining why 9 errors in the White House report on climate implications of crypto mining. So if you guys remember, a few months ago, we reported that Biden had put out an executive order for a report on cryptocurrencies. So it was kind of a big deal because it was the first time the White House started going, you know what? Let's investigate this space so we can regulate it. So everyone was excited. This is a good move. They're going to get a report. However, the report has come back to be quite underwhelming. And one of the things that they speak about in that report, where they report mistakenly, is the energy use of proof of mining work. Now, I'm going to go on a bit of a rant after this because this stuff really gets under my skin. So anyway, this article speaks about some of the things that were 9 errors in the report. Number one was there's no new data. So the data the report used always has been old data. They haven't gone out to seek new data to see what's happening out in the market. Number two, they're ignoring industry experts. So a lot of reports have come out from like Arcane Research, Bitcoin Mining Council, Bitcoin Net Zero, have all reported on the Bitcoin usage of electricity and the impact it has on the environment. They're citing people who are clearly anti-crypto, so people that work from central banks. They've also cited people who have used, they don't have any they don't have any academic history in blockchain technology or mining. They don't have, they don't have any real world use cases or real world experience. They're just citing people who are just using the whole climate change thing as a tool to go against crypto. And also some reports that are really old and really absurd that had no real basis in them. Basically, what they said was, everything they've done in here is they've gone weak information to be able to report on this. Now, why does this annoy me? It's because we've been having this debate, these back and forth going on in the media around the proof of work and the amount of electricity it uses. Now, let me tell you one thing first. I love the environment. I'm a big fan, and I always advocate for sustainability. I always advocate for better ways in which we're looking after our environment. I think we as humans are killing the world that we're living in. So I believe in the zero or the net zero emissions and finding renewable energy. I'm a big fan of that, and I love that. And one of the things that makes me even more proud to be a person who cares for the environment is to see how Bitcoin miners are working so hard to push the renewable energy agenda further and faster, because they are incentivized to find cheaper electricity. And we all know that cheaper electricity means, or cheaper electricity comes from renewable energy, not fossil fuel energy. So if you want cheaper energy, you've got to find solar energy, for example, turbines, and so forth. So Bitcoin miners are incentivized to find cheaper energy. And when they're doing that, they're finding ways to create electricity and use energy in new ways. Now, on the weekend, we're meeting with one of our partners here called Osmint. Okay, definitely look them up, guys. They are building Bitcoin mines that are sustainable, that are energy sustainable, and they're building it from scratch to be designed to use renewable energy. Like some of the things that these guys are out there doing is they're going to farms where there's a lot of animal waste, like pig farms and things like that, or they go to landfills where there's obviously human waste, and getting the methane gases coming out of these decaying rubbish and feces and whatnot, and using that and turning it into electricity, and then turning it into energy. Now, that is a very, very innovative way that is not only reducing the reliance on fossil fuel electricity, but it's also reducing the emission of methane gas into the atmosphere, which we all know is also damaging to the environment. So this is what crypto miners are actually doing out there in the real world right now. They're finding ways to use natural renewable energy so that they can have cheaper energy, so they can keep mining Bitcoin. So yeah, that's my little rant on that, and why I believe that these guys, why a lot of this information here is propaganda to try and stop people from going to crypto. Now, next one is Argentinian inflation skyrockets to almost 80% year on year as crypto adoption grows. Now, Argentina is actually, we're going to be speaking about Argentina, what they're actually doing about this long term in one of the coaching sessions we're doing tonight for our members. But anyway, what they're talking about in this article is that Argentina has 78.5% year on year inflation, with electricity and food and energy and housing and clothing going up by about 7% a month. Now, this is huge numbers, which means that their money is losing value very, very fast. As we have hyperinflation, our purchasing power is reduced. Now, when our purchasing power is reduced, that means we need more dollars to pay for the same thing. This is what inflation means. And this happens because governments, or how they have handled the economy, printing money and so forth, has caused this on the Argentinian people. So what is actually happening in Argentina is people are turning to cryptocurrencies. Why are they turning to cryptocurrencies? Because they understand that governments have no control over the creation of Bitcoin. Therefore, no government can ever say, we need more Bitcoin, let's just create more Bitcoin. It can't happen. It's impossible because the code doesn't allow it. Okay, so they know that there's no government control, so people are moving their money to these type of assets where they have control and they can't be affected by inflation. So that is that. Another rant. Next one, we have Australian Senator drives bill to regulate stablecoins and digital yuan. Now, look, this guy, his name is Andrew Bragg. I haven't heard of him before, but apparently, I don't know what's going on there with your screen, Matt, but that's not what I'm seeing. But anyway, apparently this guy is an Australian senator. I haven't heard of him before, but he is a crypto enthusiast and he's a crypto advocate. So he's written up a bill to regulate stable coins and CDBCs and the digital yuan. And basically what he says in this is that he doesn't believe Australia will benefit from CDBC. So he's trying to persuade the Australian government not to go down the CDBC path. And he's also saying that we should be regulating other CDBCs and other digital assets, as well as stable coins, the digital yuan, so that because we can Other links, other link, Matt. Sorry, man. Somebody commented other link, Matt. You're on the wrong link. Yeah. So basically, what he's saying is, in that bill, saying that we need to regulate these to protect the Australian economy, and also stay away from CBDCs. You guys have threw me off there. All right, that's it for the news highlights, and over to you, Matty.
All right, my apologies. I'm getting click happy. All good. My turn. All right, we've got 7 people watching, guys. Please let us know in the comment section, what is your favorite altcoin? I want to know what your favorite altcoin, and give me a quick reason why, just in the comment section. I'll be covering 2 altcoins later on that I think have got good potential. These were 2 presentations and 2 businesses that had big stands at our latest Oz crypto convention that we attended. And I'd love to know, obviously, what you guys are thinking on the show. What coins are you invested in and why? What altcoins you invested in and why? All right, moving on to the Twitter highlights. We've got Anthony Pompliano. Bitcoin addresses with 0.01 and 0.1 Bitcoin continue to hit all-time highs despite the price volatility. Great to see. I think this shows that people are getting educated, that no matter what price you really buy it at, it's going to be an amazing performance. And in one of the later tweets, we're going to talk about how it's correlated, obviously, to the stock market, but the returns are pretty much outweigh the stock market if you invest in cryptocurrencies, but especially the godfather Bitcoin. So if you have been buying these dips, please also let us know in the comment section. Would love to know if you guys have been buying these recent dips. Next, we've got Peter Schiff. CNBC's Jim Cramer claimed that the bad news reported by FedEx on the collapsing U.S. economy proves that the Fed is winning its war on inflation. To the contrary, the economy is collateral damage in a war the Fed is losing. Inflation gets stronger as the economy gets weaker. If you don't know who Jim Cramer is, he's the host of Squawk Box. Basically, they're just analysts that do have a bit of a show, a bit like, sports shows and whatever, but they talk about stocks, and they usually like to invest in a lot of coins. And then Jim Cramer jumps on every day sort of saying, hey, this stock is, amazing. It's at a good price, blah, blah. So they pump their own bags, and it's funny because this would technically be insider trading, but they don't allow it. So do your own research, check out Jim Cramer, but a lot of their stuff is pump and dump mechanics, and it's legal because they've got their own sort of network. But what Peter Schiff is talking about here is the central bank's only thing in terms of numbers and calculations, and inflation is the real economy, and it's terribly, what they're telling us is a complete distraught. So this is what we like to call the financial matrix, which is part of our educational content. If you haven't seen our video, I'll try and get a link for you guys later. But basically, normal to poor people will continue to suffer whilst the rich continuously fill their bags with safe assets, buying these dips because they've got millions of dollars. They can continuously DCA into fantastic companies, and they know that we're going through short-term pain. And this is why in our upcoming webinar, the 5 Megatrends, we want to sort of share as well with you guys what these rich people are doing, these wealthy people are doing, and we basically replicate what they are doing inside our course. This is what we deliver to our members: safe and profitable investments, but also getting passive yield off investments so we can reinvest it into the ecosystem and obviously have a wheel, this wealth wheel that I like to call it, continuously producing more and more profits for not only our clients, but for people that just watch our webinar. So we'll leave you guys a link on our upcoming webinar that is next at the end of this month. Next, by Plan B, we've got hashtag Bitcoin and the S&P 500 are correlated. However, in the same price period, the S&P increased from $1,000 to $4,000. BTC went from 10 to 20K. 4 times versus 2,000 times, completely different worlds. Short-term moves are noise, long-term trends are the signal. So this is what I was just talking about a couple of tweets ago. The returns on cryptocurrencies, but especially Bitcoin, far outweigh the returns that you get on S&P. If you've got your money in a hedge fund or with some form of investor, usually they try and get sort of 10% a year returns because that outweighs any sort of interest rates you normally get in the bank. So they're quite happy with that. But by investing putting, a small amount of your capital into a risk asset such as Bitcoin, even though I don't see it as a risk asset, you can far outweigh the potential returns, buying into a hedge fund. So hopefully you guys are DCAing into Bitcoin. It's not financial advice. That's obviously what we're doing. And, we've lived through a fair few bear markets as a business, and we know exactly where it's going to head in the next sort of 6 to 12 months. Next tweet by Lynn Alden. During this decline chart below, the biggest buyer of treasuries became the Fed instead of China. The question is, what happens if both the Fed and China stop buying treasuries? The federal debt GDP will well over 100% and $1 trillion deficit. So obviously, she's just talking about how this chart, it signifies and showcases that not many of the larger countries are now buying treasuries, and governments are trying another outlet to get money from. We see this already happening with the way that they print money because they need it without thinking about the consequences that may lead into the economy. So they swap between quantitative easing, where they print more money, and now we're going through quantitative tightening, but we're still giving these big countries are still trying to figure out, hey, how can we get out of this without needing to print more money, because we're going to create obviously more issues. They're already starting to see the issues, through things that we spoke about last live stream about the energy crisis in Europe. Wasim just talked about in the news highlight about Argentina's 75% year-on-year increase in inflation. Things are kind of getting crazy, and all we keep hearing is bad news on the news, which is typical news. But unfortunately, why I watch the news every single day is because there's a lot of truth to it as well. It is fear-mongering because right now there's no good news in regards to the economy and things that are happening financially with each country around the world. So I like to keep updated. I'm not telling you to watch the news. You do whatever you like, but I like to stay informed with what they're telling us, because sometimes I like to do the opposite of what they're telling us. Hey, things are going really good in the economy, I'm selling. Things are going really bad in the economy, I'm sort of buying. And right now, things are obviously very bad, and we can see that with the stock markets and so forth all around the world. Lastly, we have BSC News. The new White House policy document reveals the U.S. plans to promote the adoption of crypto assets as a safe environment for American investors. So it's good that they're doing this because they're obviously supporting the development of CBDCs and the innovation by independent public blockchains. But really, the framework outlines in this sort of new bill the ways in which the financial service industry should evolve and make borderless transactions easier, as well as how to crack down on fraud in the digital space. They're still very convinced that Bitcoin takes a lot of energy to mine and it's used for nefarious activities. But really, if you watch any Netflix documentary about drug dealing and so forth, and even when we see drug busts here in Australia, they're not finding drugs and then iPhones full of Bitcoin. They're finding drugs and they're finding cash, because it's still really well used in a lot of nefarious activities. That's just how people like to be paid, is in an asset that isn't volatile. Yes, the crypto market is volatile, but if you're trying to do a drug deal, I'm assuming if someone's selling you a product, they want to get equal value that doesn't fluctuate quite rapidly overnight. So I think the cash is still a huge part of nefarious activities, and it's funny that they continuously bring these things up in limelight of why crypto shouldn't exist or why it should be regulated, et cetera, et cetera. So hopefully I haven't gone onto too much of a rant, but that is the end of the Twitter highlights. Going to bring Wasim back in, and he's going to take us through the adoption highlights.
Awesome. Matty, can you actually just put up, there was one that I missed, which was
the Russian one?
Yeah. So I did miss that one, guys, but it is an important one. And the reason why I want to go back to this is because we've been speaking quite a bit about Russia and how they're moving forward towards regulating cryptocurrency and accepting cryptocurrency as a nation for import and export. Now, this has been because they've been sanctioned due to the war, but they're finding other ways, and this is just other ways that they can still transact with the world. So they first started off in just mentioning it, but now they're putting regulation in place, which is going to allow Russia as a country. They've actually changed the whole financial system objectives to 2030 to put it in line with allowing cryptocurrencies and digital assets for payments. And one of the big reasons they're doing that is to avoid being sanctioned by other countries. So if we remove the weaponization of money, then we're going to give more people options and opportunities to be able to create it on their own. One of the biggest ways that the world is controlled and one country controls another is through money. Not through force, not through whatever, but through money, they can actually control it. So if we look at the way the IMF does it, they lend poorer countries money, and the rules that they have on them are so hard that they can't pay it off, and then they end up giving them land or giving up part of their sovereignty to land. And this is how IMF countries grow. So when we take that power away from them, then we are creating a fairer world. And this is one of the big things that I love about cryptocurrencies. All right, now let's get on to the adoption highlights. Okay, so one of South Korea's biggest card issuers launches a new blockchain-powered platform to help customers spot fake goods. So we've spoken here about the endless amount of opportunities for blockchain technology to change the way we do things in the world, to change the way we live, change so much about our life. And over here, they've found a way that they can use blockchain technology through a card to verify the authenticity of products. So any fake products that are being sold on the black market, etc., they can then verify that through a blockchain transaction. And this is one way that they are fighting for the consumers' rights. So that's that one. Next is one. Look, this one is if you've got to be a little bit in DeFi to understand it. If you're not in DeFi, both of these DeFi protocols are Menthol protocol and Land X. They're working together. So Menthol works together around environmental issues and sustainability, and Land X helps farmers get fund for crops. So what they've done is they've come together to do a partnership, which now is going to allow more people to be able to buy or share in crops. So it allows a new investment, real world investment, to help farmers who are struggling be able to get investment into their crops so that they can actually keep and grow their business. So these are more innovative ways in which DeFi and cryptocurrencies is helping real world. J-Pop to go crypto with IO-funded idol group to debut in 2023. So J-Pop is Japanese pop culture, which is pretty big in Asia. We've got K-pop, J-Pop, etc. So these or start off with J-Pop anyway. So these are like band girls and band boys or whatever it is, musicians. But now they're going digital. So they're going to create a blockchain. They're going to have their own currency, and they're going to create a new group that's going to be backed by this blockchain. So they'll do things like NFTs, etc., and I'll do so many other things for the music industry. All right, next one, and I found this one to be quite interesting. I think you're on the wrong screen again, Matt. We're seeing a time protection or something, ad lock. All right, okay, no, that one. The Saudi Arabia should be the next one. Okay, so Saudi Arabia National Day celebrations to be held in the metaverse. So a company called Bold Group has partnered with the Saudi government, and what they're doing is coming up between in 2 days' time, so September 22nd up to September 24th, they're going to celebrate the Saudi Independence Day through the metaverse. So they've created a whole bunch of experiences, which then they can promote their culture and their country and whatnot. And this can now be celebrated on the metaverse, which is a big move for a country to do that, and showing how quick and how big the adoption is going. All right. Next. Yep. Now, last but not least, this is another move in terms of people being able to use cryptocurrencies for payment for everyday things. So Binance has partnered with one of the largest supermarket chains in the Ukraine to allow people to pay for groceries with cryptocurrencies. So one of the things that they'll get is some of the perks is like you get free delivery. Is going to go across about 7 different cities at the moment. 28 cities. 111 stores, 28 cities around Ukraine. But also to launch it, Binance is giving away stablecoin for the members. So they're giving away about $25,000 worth of stablecoin to random members to get this up and coming. Now, the Ukraine has become a hub for Web3 adoption. They're also moving fast because they want to become stronger. They know this is the future. Even though they are in a war, they are adopting blockchain really, really fast. So, that's it from the adoption highlights of today. Welcome back, Matty.
Thank you, Wasim. All right, guys, a quick little update. I'm going to share with you guys 2 awesome investments that I made over the weekend. I'm not too sure if Wasim made them, but I'm a bit of a degenerate. Now, I'm not telling you that, guys, these coins because I want you to pump my bags. I'm actually only telling you because they're actually down in price from the purchase price that I bought them at. So really, I'm not getting you to pump my bags, and I'm going to reveal what they are now. These things that I really enjoy in life are drinking, but more so as well gaming. I like gaming. I'm a bit of a gamer. I've got a PS5. I've also got a Nintendo Switch. So I like a lot of games. I like playing games. It's a good stress relief, but it's also a great way to sort of get out of the day-to-day routine. And I saw 2 amazing games. One, which I already know of, and I knew about it last bull market. And that first game is Illuvium. Illuvium presented over the weekend. Their gameplay looks amazing. The game is not yet released. But it's an amazing looking game. They've got 3 games in process. One is a little bit like Pokemon, where you've got sort of characters and you can power them up, and they've got earth, fire, and stuff like that. The gameplay looks really good. It's like state of the art. It looks like an amazing. The graphics are amazing. So I bought myself a little bit of Illuvium, and just to have a quick look at the Illuvium price, price rise in the last bull market, it went to 1,850, and right now it's at $58. So I think it's a good purchase price. I think that the release was around about what says here $78. The low point in the last bear market, or just before the bull run, was $35. So it's about just under double the price. I got myself a little bag. I think it's a great project. Check them out just because, like I said, I'm a gamer. I like gaming and the graphics look good. So that's why I got into it. The next one was another game called TCG. And why I really like this one is the market cap is quite low. It's only like $12 million, which is, there it is, market cap. Really low. So it's a bit of a diamond in the rough, so to speak. Diamonds in the rough are types of research protocols that we look at as a business. We get a lot of our researchers that look into all our investments. I just want to give you a heads up. We do have a research report on Illuvium. We do not have one on TCG. We have not had time to obviously do our research. I just found out about these guys on the weekend, but they're developing a 4K game. It looks a lot like PUBG, if you've ever played PUBG. The graphics look amazing. They've got some really good utility. They had the biggest stand on the weekend. So the all-time low on this one is like 6 cents, and we're only at 10 cents. And the all-time high was $1.31. So I got myself a little bit small bag of both Illuvium and TCG. Not telling you to buy it, just wanted to share some of the presentations and industries that we saw on the weekend. I'm a big gamer, so I really spent a bit of time talking to these guys and seeing their development on their games, which blockchain gaming is the future, being able to purchase in-game assets and being able to hold them as NFTs and then obviously trade them on their marketplace. There's a big future in gaming, and the money from the corporate world in gaming, like esports, is transitioning to the metaverse and blockchain gaming. So I think these are really cool. And like I said, I bought a bit, but I just wanted to share this with you guys. We do a little bit of obviously we give you guys some tips sometimes on some of the stuff that we're looking at. Never as in depth as this, but please never invest more. I like the sports bet line. bet with your head, not over it. Same with the investment. Never bet more than you're willing to lose. And like I said, I threw a couple of hundred at both of these, but that's, hoping for big gains in the future. Alrighty, that is it from me. Wasim, do you want to tell everyone about our upcoming webinar, which is on the 5 Megatrends?
Yeah, so we've actually we can actually release the 5 Megatrends today too. We can
we've got the ebook version. So guys, if you would like, you can head to the same let me drop the website below.
Yeah.
You can head to Decrypting Crypto. Here we go.
Yeah.
If you head to this website, not only do you get the free ebook, but you will get access to our free course, which is educational content on crypto. If you're already educated, maybe give the website and educate a family or friend or partner. Tell them about how the space is going to be changing and revolutionizing the world. And on top of that, you're going to get the free ebook of our new release 5 crypto megatrends that we feel are going to boom in the next bull cycle. And you'll probably see some of the cool topics and, areas of the blockchain and crypto sphere that we feel are going to absolutely 100x in the next bull run. So check it out. Head to Decrypting Crypto, grab yourself a free ebook, and let us know next DC live stream what you thought about it.
Yeah, so definitely go to Decrypting Crypto, guys. This is the 5 Megatrends I've been telling you guys about. But also, after you download the 5 Megatrends, make sure you register for the 5 Megatrends masterclass that we're holding next week. So next Wednesday and Thursday, we'll be holding the same. We'll be holding a new masterclass entitled "How to Cash the 5 Megatrends Before the Next Bull Run to Realize the Life of to realize the life of your dreams." So we'd love for you to come to that. We're going to go into detail about what are the trends that are happening in crypto and why we want to get on these early and what projects are going to be in that area. So these are going to be, imagine getting in really, really early on with not even Facebook. Like we're talking about, buying the equipment to create the internet, the hardware, getting that down to detail. These are the things that are going to really shape the world that we're living in, and you want to get involved now. So see you guys on Friday. And also, please go ahead and register for that, and we'll see you guys at the event.
That's it from us, guys. See you Friday. Bye.